All right, Shalom, Shalom. I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wahara Kadash. I want to say double honor to the apostles and the bishop elders of Great Millstone for teaching this word and this truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to my fellow Akim across the four corners of the globe, preaching and prophesying in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Shai. It is the brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another lesson. And this lesson is on the families that they don't tell you about. Okay, the secret families that you don't they don't tell you about in regards to some of these other elite families that you may have never heard about, or you may have heard about. You know, some of the common names are the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Oppenheimers, the Gettys, the DuPonts. Okay, um, the Gettys, the DuPonts, and also other families. All right, but I found this group of individuals, Edomites, this family called the Cargill family. Okay, and they basically run a lot of the food industry in this country as well as the world. Okay, and they as well as the world. Okay, and you would never hear about them if it wasn't for the internet and other whistleblowers who are part of their ilk that might have got away or started telling people their um about their ill deeds, man, ill deeds. And it's not just because somebody's rich that makes it a problem. No, but you notice if you look at the super elite, they're all Edomites. You know, some of them are so-called J Brews. A lot of them are so-called J Brews. Actually, the crypto J Brews. You know, they change their names to better be able to move around in this world. But they all answer to the super elite families, which is one of them being the Rothschild family. I think the Rothschild family is the richest family on the planet Earth, man. And they're a bunch of Edomites, okay? And this is the reason why Rockefeller, J. Rockefeller, one of the scions of J.D. Rockefeller, he said the internet should have never been invented. And now he was speaking at a cybersecurity conference, Commerce Secretary Confirmation Senate Committee, Commerce Committee, and he said that the internet should have never been invented. And that's the real reason why is because it's exposing these devils, you know, and it's the reason why they're cracking down on what they call fake news, misinformation, information that goes against the status quo, you know, which basically was to hide them. It was a time on a YouTube not too long ago, around like 2014, 15, you could actually type on YouTube and find videos of Rothschilds walking about, like David the Rothschild, Jacob Rothschild. Those videos are old, but you don't hear that. No, you don't really see that too often. These people are not in the front of people's minds, you know, and that's because. But now they're being exposed because of their wickedness, man. So let me play this real quick.
Oh, full committee hearing on cybersecurity. And this comes within our purview on this committee. And not trying to be dramatic about it, when the internet was invented, everybody fell flat in their face. They were so thrilled. And the world began to do business in a different way. Now, both the President Bush's Director of National Intelligence, Mike McConnell, who I greatly respect, and President Obama's Director of National Intelligence, Admiral Blair, who I greatly respect, have labeled cybersecurity perpetrated through the internet as the #1 national hazard of attack on the homeland in West Virginia, America, or anywhere else. So, it really almost makes you ask the question, would it have been better if we never invented the internet?
Yeah, now he was speaking about cybersecurity, but these super elite, they don't care about your personal cybersecurity. They hire people to get into these companies and to do espionage. They do this, they set this stuff up on purpose. But the real reason why uh, it was a big issue because it exposes the super elite on a level, man. Again, like how many people actually even heard of the Cargill family. Let me play this one.
14 billionaires belong to these 14 billionaires belong to the most secretive family in the world.
We are the flour in your bread, the salt on your fries, and the chocolate in your dessert. We are the pork or chicken you eat for dinner, the cotton in your clothing, and the fertilizer in your field. We are Cargill, the second largest private company in the world.
Cargill has engaged in wartime profiteering in World War II. They tried to corner the corn market during the Dust Bowl, and they've obliterated rainforest biomes. They made a record $165 billion last year. Their intelligence on food and agriculture has even been said to exceed the CIA's. But it's entirely up to the Cargill family what is made public, because they still own 88% of the company. They are one of 4 corporations that nearly all agricultural commodities pass through, but their invisibility is no accident. You can't boycott Cargill if you can't see Cargill. That's why these 14...
Yeah, and that's the thing. Here it is. This devil, he's over the production of grain and food all throughout the world. And they told you that their knowledge of food rivals that of the CIA, supposedly. Okay? Why is that? This man is the devil. And secrecy was his weapon until he was exposed. This is the book of Obadiah. Well, let me get this real quick. This is let me get Obadiah. Okay, secrecy was their weapon until they got exposed. This is the book of Obadiah 1 and 6. Obadiah 1 and 6. Obadiah chapter 1. It's only one chapter, but it's a strong book. Obadiah 1 and 6. How are the things that Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Okay, because Esau has hid that. He hid the fact that the super elite, these families, are behind this war profiteering, the food, destruction of the food. The NIV says, but how Esau will be ransacked, his hidden treasures pillaged. Yeah, because a lot of his, when this thing goes down, these super elite families are going to be brought to their knees, man. And there's a lot going on about these families that you don't know about, you have never heard about, but they're ruled by these super elite Edomite families that, and they showed a picture of their family. They barely showed the picture of their family. They crossed their faces out, so you can't see who these men are. And they've put other people in their family. They've joined families together. They hid themselves throughout society, high society. And these ain't the families. They don't walk around with, necklaces, jewelry on their neck, big rings and watches and shit. Nah, no, they take over where you can't see them at. And again, secrecy was their thing until it was sought up. Okay, and this Edomite is, all his food production is wicked, man. From the GMOs to the destruction of crops, pesticides, and all of that. And they hold a basic monopoly over all of these different food processing. Not just in America, man. All right. This is it says the Cargill family. The Cargill family, also known as the Cargill Macmillan family, refers to a multi-generational descendants of the American business executive William Wallace Cargill, and his son-in-law, John H. Macmillan Sr. The Cargill Macmillan family is the 4th wealthiest family in America, but you never heard of these people. Jay get all excited about Jay-Z and Oprah Winfrey, Robert Smith, these individuals, Kanye West. Them niggas are bums compared to what these Edomites got, man. It's the descendants of Cargill and Macmillan have owned common equity in the agribusiness giant Cargill Inc. Cargill Inc. is a privately held American global food corporation based in Minnesota, Minnetonka, Minnesota, and incorporated in Wilmington, Delaware. And a lot of these super elite families, they incorporate their business in Delaware because it lessens the tax burden on their organization. It says founded in 1865. Jake was in captivity during this time. Founded in 1865, it is the largest privately held corporation in the United States in terms of revenue. If it were a public company, it would rank also. Let me see. If it were a public company, it would rank as of 2015, the number 15 on the Fortune 500. So a lot of these companies that you see out here that's public, man, they don't compare, they don't match up to to these privately owned companies, man, that really put the poison out. Okay? It says one of the largest privately owned corporations in the United States for over 140 years. So no breaks. These Edomites just been winning. William Cargill founded the Cargill Company as an Iowa grain storage business in 1865 during the post-Civil War period and was the CEO for almost 40 years. Following the death of William Cargill in 1909, his son John McMillan, his son-in-law, steered the company into out of a debt crisis and into stability. The two branches of the family, the Macmillan and the Cargill, continue to be represented on a board of directors of Cargill Incorporated. The most recent family members appointed to the board are fifth generation. In 2019, 23 Cargill Macmillan family members own 88%. In 2019, they own 88% of the family's company, just like that video said, which earned $113.5 billion in revenue just in 2019. The family reportedly keeps 80% of Cargill Inc. net income inside the company for reinvestment annually. You know, the exact wealth of the family is unknown. And again, these are families that you don't know about. These are families, this is one of the families that no one knew about. But yet they've cornered the market in agribusiness, man. It says Private Lives and Secrecy, a review of William Duncan Macmillan in 1998 book Macmillan, The American Grain Family, described the Macmillan as one of Minnesota's wealthiest clans and one its most doggedly secretive. Macmillan offers the closest look yet into a private lives behind the largest privately held company in the world. But they're being exposed. They're being exposed for all the wickedness that they've done. And then they try to pull some philanthropy shit. But that shit just go back right into their pockets, man. Okay? You know, and these families, they're running around this earth winning, man. But they're gonna be destroyed soon, man. This is Proverbs 28:1. No, that wasn't it. What was this? Proverbs 28. Salakia. Hey, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 1. It's the prayer of deliverance from secret enemies. And Esau, this is a secret enemy because guess what? All the food go through them. All the GMOs, all the poison, all that shit they give us in these food deserts called neighborhoods. All that shit come to their hands, man. It says, hear my voice, O Most High. In my prayer, preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And this is some of them. The Cargill family. Let's look and see if we can get some pictures of these people. You probably can't even find no pictures of these people, man. That's how secretive these people are, man. But again, no one knew about these people for a long time. Yeah, this is some of them. 28 richest billionaires. Cargill. Look at this devil. Look at this devil, man. He looked like a Rockefeller Rothschild, man. And it ain't because these people have great business ingenuity and that they're just, righteous business. No, this is the wicked. This is the wicked, man. That's the wicked. This is hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of workers of iniquity, who whet their tongues like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. And who are the perfect? We are, the Israelites, starting with the hopeful elect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Yeah, they shoot at the perfect, but they don't fear the Most High. Like they're gonna get retribution for that. Right here it says they shoot from an ambush at the innocent. They shoot suddenly without fear. And that's exactly what they do. It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? And that's right. When they go into these dark buildings and these big meetings, best believe when they have those Bilderberg meetings and they have all these secretive meetings, one or some of these representatives from this family is sitting in the room. One of these Edomites is sitting in the room, man. A portrait of a leader Irwin Kelm, Cargill. You see? And again, this is all Edomites, man. Ain't no Israelites amongst this group. And these would be unsuspecting, unassuming demons walking this earth, pillaging by way of their so-called business, man. Then they want to try to give them a puff story and make them make them seem like a nice old family who just work hard and keep it all in the family. But in reality, these are the devils that the Bible speaks of, man. These Edomites right here are some devils, are some of the devils who the Bible speaks of, man. They can make food righteous, but they don't want to do that. They don't care about doing that. They mentioned if you eat, they said we are the pork that or the chicken that you eat, man. You know, again, it goes through their hands. Back in Psalm 64:5, they encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune, laying snares privily. They say, "Who shall see them?" They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. That's right. When them nuclear missiles go off on this place, it's going to destroy these people's family business. They 140-year business going to be brought to their knees, man. Brought to ashes. All their investments across the world going to be brought down to ashes, man. Because with this whole so-called NWO, it's families like this that's going to be owning Jake, man. Jake that get them chips, man. Which they're underneath of the, these family is underneath of the Rothschilds. Very underneath of the Rothschilds. I don't know how far they go down, but hey, these devils, they're underneath of the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, man. But they right there with them. They do the bidding of these devils, man. You know, you see them, these devils in portraits, marrying Edomites, having what do you call this? Having Edomite children that look like Edomites and shit. You know, and they're marrying into wealth. These are super elite East Indian families marrying into these Edomite families so they can hide themselves amongst the nations, man. But they all gonna be taken down. They're all gonna be taken down. You look at somebody like Jeff Bezos and think, oh man, this guy's Jeff Bezos is a fucking bum compared to these people, compared to these devils, the Cargills, compared to these devils, right? Hiding themselves amongst the nations, thinking that they're doing something, adopting children into their family, you know. But Yahweh Shema Shai gonna do away with them. He gonna shoot at them with them arrows, which is the nuclear missiles. Okay, and suddenly shall they be wounded, so they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves, and that's where all that see them shall flee, and that's what you get going on. Their own tongues are exposing them, and that's why J. Rockefeller said the internet. That's what he really meant by the internet should have never existed. Talk about commerce and cybersecurity. They don't care about that shit. They care about the fact they're being exposed on a lot of levels, man. And they could just chalk it up to conspiracy, things, speech and talk. But in reality, it's really happening. It says their own tongues will ruin them, and all who see them will shake their heads in scorn. And that's right, their own tongues are ruining them. You got people like John Todd that brought out that the Third World War going to be started on a behest of an energy crisis. And that's what you see going on right now. This devil, he was a straight up warlock, working for the super elite, But their own tongue's gonna follow them. So you Jakes ain't never heard none of these dinners that these devils go to. You don't be in the same rooms as these devils, man. They move different. They move outside of common people, man. And I think this is Jeb Bush's son right here. He looked like a Latino, and that's an Edomite, man. His mother is a Latina, This dude, and these are the wealthy families, man. Some of the wealthy families that you will never hear about. You would never known that these people existed, man. Sitting there smiling with them crazy, cringy ass teeth, man. And these are some of the billionaires that's gonna try to escape or that will escape this nuclear destruction that's coming. And they know it's coming because they're going to get the memo. They already got it. It says, so they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. All men shall fear and shall declare the work of the heavenly Father, for they shall wisely consider his doing. The righteous shall be glad in Yahweh Shai and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. And that's us, the hopeful elect. This is James 5:1. Go now, ye rich men, weep and howl, for your misery shall come upon you. Right. And this is some of them. What's this Cargill family? Portugal. As one of the Cargill demons. Let's go back to these niggas. Yeah. These devils right here. How ye rich men. Because you're going to be done away with, man. Your riches ain't going to deliver you. Go now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted. Yep. And you go to that food and agribusiness industry, it's very corrupt, man. Your riches are corrupted. Your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered. The rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers, and who that? Us, the workers, these other nations that's working for these devils, who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud. The cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth, which is the Israelites. Okay? You got other families too, like this family right here called the Sackler family. Nobody knew about these people. And they had a huge court case going on, but that shit got swept under the rug. It got swept under the rug. They had a movie written about these people on Hulu called Dope Sick. Yeah, called Dope Sick. But you can't even barely find it. Look, you can't find no pictures of the Sackler family, but this is one of them right here. This one of them devils right here. Throwing out the 4.5 billion settlement with Purdue Pharma is the right call. And this is one of them Sackler devils, man. Boston Globe. Because they had to settle with people because of what they did. And not only that, they're covered by the law. You got this one judge right here. He granted them global peace. It says the Sackler family has won immunity from all future opioid lawsuits, man. Members of the Sackler family who are at the center of the nation's deadly opioid crisis have won sweeping immunity from opioid lawsuits linked to their privately owned company, Purdue Pharma. See, this is another privately owned company. Just like the Cargill company, you got Purdue Pharma. These are all privately owned companies, but they're destroying people, man. And now this one particular family, they got they received immunity from opioid lawsuits linked to their privately owned company, Purdue Pharma, and its OxyContin medication. Federal Judge Robert Drain approved a bankruptcy settlement on Wednesday that grants the Sacklers global peace from any liability for the opioid epidemic. And the opioids are killing people. This was in September 1st, 2021. The opioid epidemic is destroying people, man. Go to any ghetto USA. Go to Philadelphia, San Francisco, LA, anywhere. These small towns, man. And the opioid epidemic is killing people, but these people ain't going to prison for that. It says this is a bitter result. Drain said, I believe that at least some of the Sackler parties have liability for those opioid OxyContin claims. I would have expected a higher settlement. The complex bankruptcy plan confirmed by Drain at the hearing of White Plains, New York, was negotiated in a series of intense closed-door mediations sessions over the past 2 years. The deal grants a release from liability for harm caused by OxyContin and other opioids to the Sacklers, hundreds of their associates, as well as their remaining empire of company and trust. In return, they have agreed to pay roughly $4.3 billion while also forfeiting ownership of Purdue Pharma, which they ain't finna let that go. And that's why this dude, I think his name Robert Sackler or something like that, he said that throwing it out is the best thing. So that was September 2020, September 21. All right. September 21, by December, you get this. Victims of addiction deserve more from the Sackler family, whose company helped fuel the opioid crisis. Look, now it's acting up. Now it's acting up. It says a federal judge's decision to overturn a $4.5 billion settlement between Purdue Pharma and assorted state, local, and tribal governments is the right call. The settlement wrongly shielded the billionaire Sackler family, who owned the company that made the prescription painkiller Oxycontin, from any and all civil liabilities in the opioid-related tragedies. The settlement was part of a complex restructuring plan for Purdue Pharma that was approved on September by a bankruptcy judge. But Judge Colleen McSomething of the U.S. District Court pulled the plug on it because it protected the Sackler family from future civil lawsuits. After the Sacklers took more than $10 billion out of it, Purdue Pharma filed for bankruptcy. The Sacklers, who did not file for personal bankruptcy, offered to contribute toward the original settlement, if and only if every member of the family could achieve global peace, which we just read. So they overturned it, and then they granted it in September of 2021, but then they overturned it. Okay. But he's like, look, they want global peace for them people from all civil, not criminal litigation, which none of them people are going to go to prison because they're part of the super elite. That she said was wrong. She did, however, also call the legal issue of the Sacklers' release a great unsettled question of bankruptcy law, and wrote, this opinion will not be the last word of the subject, nor should it, you know. And this is Richard Sackler, the former president of Purdue Pharma. You know, he was the one that came up with Oxycontin, the great idea to push that out there. This is Job chapter 5, verse 12. He disappointed the vices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. They meet in darkness in daytime, and grope in the noonday as in the night. But he saveth the poor from the sword. And Esau, Edom, you're the sword. And who's the poor? We, the hopeful elect of Israel, the Israelites. From there, he says, he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. So the poor have hope, and iniquity stoppeth her mouth. Okay? And that's what's coming. The Lord is going to disappoint you, Edomites. This is Psalm 73 and 12. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. And you see it right here in NLT. It says, look at these wicked people enjoying a life of ease while their riches multiply. And you see examples right here. These devils smiling, you know, they at parties and shit, living in high society, families all together, no problems. Somebody gets sick, they go straight to the holistic doctor they got on call. Let's keep on reading. It says, verily I have cleansed my heart in vain and washed my hands in innocency. For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning. If I say I will speak, thus behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children. When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me, until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High. Then understood I their end. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Thou castest them down into destruction. That's right, because when you see how these Edomites are living, if you don't got the Lord on you, you think like, man, I got to do what they doing in order to get it. You know, but the Lord, he set them up for failure. He set them up off of these Edomites are about to roll off a cliff of destruction. You know, they think that they're all one with with their enterprise. Satan has got their back. They've been getting money hand over fist, increasing in wealth and riches and prestige, hiding themselves amongst the population. But they're going to be exposed and they're going to be cast out straight into destruction. Okay, these cave dwellers, they're going back. They're going back. These cave dwellers are going back into their old state, which is a low and a base state. These are the lowest form of humans ever created, man. These are the lowest form of man created. You say humans, that means you have color. You know what I'm saying? Nah, these are the lowest form of man. These are Edomites, man. Oh, look at they look red. They're a bunch of redheads and golf clothes, man. You know, but the Lord got them in a slippery place, and He gonna destroy them, man. It says, Micah 2:1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in their power is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields. That's right. How did this family get all of that land in the 1800s, man? First of all, that land that they were created their agribusiness on was stolen property. How about that? Stolen property from Gad, Reuben, Issachar, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, man. And they covet fields and take them by violence. That's right, they had to take it by violence in a house, and they take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage, which is his land. And these Edomites are oppressing us in our land via food, via their food. NLT, it says, when you wanted a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. When you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. Yup. You cheat a man of his property, stealing his family's inheritance, man. And that's what these devils want to do via the MOTB. They want to try to manufacture an inheritance of eternal life and rulership on the earth and put people in captivity. They're trying to steal our inheritance via their technology. They've already stolen our inheritance that the Lord gave us in the land. You know, that's how these people got wealthy. That's how this family has become the wealthiest family, one of the wealthiest families in America, man. You know, because it was all stolen. This land didn't belong to them. They didn't do it in righteousness. They ain't do none of that in righteousness, man. They said, no, we're going to take it because it's for the taking, man. And then they hide themselves, try to look all unassuming. But this is the fucking devil, man. You went into one of these devils in the street. You know, you would never think that, hey, this nigga's part of one of the super elite families, man. That's why you can't trust your enemies, man. And the Lord gonna do away with them. It's down to say, Shalom, on to the next.